Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to our next episode in our complete reading of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. And today we'll be discussing one of the most important shlokas or one of the most important things that has happened in the creation of Ramayana as to how Ramayana actually came out, the sequence of things that actually led to that coming out. And the shloka, one of the most important shlokas, nishaada pratisthaa magamah saaswatI samaah krouncha midhunaadekam avadhIh kaamamOhitam. So yesterday we actually saw the prelude to this, where Maharshi Valmiki, along with his Sishya Bharadwaja, comes to the river Tamasa. There Rama is totally in his heart. He's thinking about Sri Ramachandra all the time. He's thinking about Ramayana all the time. And even when he gets into the water, when he looks at the water near Tamasa river, he says, Akardamamimam tirtham bharadvaja nisamaya ramaniyah prasannam bahu sanmanushya manoyadha. He says, Oh Bharadwaja, the water is so pure. It is like a good man's heart and all. He is totally dwelling in Rama. Bharadwaja is also extremely happy that his guru is happy. Now, normally, doing susrusha to a guru is considered one of the luckiest things in the world. So, and it doesn't come easily also. So, because a guru does not really want anything, any guru who has got self-realization, who is like a Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, any Sadguru, any guru who is totally dwelling in God, they won't need anything else from this mortal world. So, assisting such a guru, doing seva to such a guru, it happens only when you are in sadhana for quite some janmas, because you really get to see how a realized person is, how they walk, how they talk, how they conduct themselves, and indirectly you also realize how you should conduct yourself, and they show you the path to liberation. So Bharadwaja was walking behind Valmiki Maharshi, so he is happy because his guru is happy. They both finished Sandhya Vandanam and they were coming back. They saw two birds playing with each other. I mean, they were kaamamOhita, so they were actually almost getting into the act of procreation. And so before that, they both were running around each other. They were so happy. And at this point of time, suddenly a hunter with an arrow, he shoots the arrow, and that comes and hits the male bird in its heart. The bird has fallen down, its head is covered with blood now, and it is crying, and the female bird is going around it. And at this point of time, the rishi, who was so happy, was seeing that the birds were so happy. Suddenly he looks towards the person who shot the arrow, that's the hunter. The moment the rishi sees him, he is so angry that he says, Manishada pratisthaa magamah saaswatI samaah yat krouncha midhunaadekam avadhIh kaamamOhitam. So on the surface of it, it is like, oh Nishada, oh hunter, you killed a bird. See, according to Sanatana Dharma, any animal should not be killed when it is having its meal, when it is giving milk to its kids, and when it is delivering a child, or when a male and a female animal together are enjoying the sexual pleasure or the act of procreation. So here, this man has shot an arrow when they both were in the happy, union state before procreation. So the rishi was so angry that he said, how did you dare to shoot an arrow towards a bird that was in such a state? So you will not live for a long time, is what the Maharshi said. But then, as I told, this is the entire Ramayana is in this sloka. How? Now let us look at the sloka so that was just previous to this one. Okay? One shloka that's like 3-4 shlokas ahead of this one is Tasya bhase tu midhunam charantamanapayinam dadarsa bhagavams tatra krouncha yos charuniswanam. This means the Maharshi, when he was walking back, he saw these two birds which were in this happy game. Now, one meaning to this shloka in another way, if you are looking at a very indicative meaning and not a very superficial meaning, a meaning that is indirectly indicative of this, so that means on the south side of the sea in Lanka, which is towards the south of the sea. There are two people, Ravana and Mandodari, and they are continuously enjoying all the good things in life. Okay, and they are living, and the male bird there, I mean Ravana there, he is living as if the purpose of life is to enjoy the sexual pleasures and other pleasures only. So Maharshi Valmiki saw such a pair. Okay, the sloka can be understood in that way as well. Now, the next sloka there says, Tasmattu midhunaadekam pimamsam papanishchayah jaghana vairanilayo nishadas tasya pasyataha. So, on the surface of it, it says a nishaada means a hunter also saw these two birds, right? Now, another meaning, the superficial meaning is the hunter also saw those birds. But the inner meaning here is papanishchayaha. Papanishchayaha means someone whose heart is filled with, whose mind is also filled with papa, with sin. Okay, that's Ravana. Vairanilayaha. So the place where he is staying, it's filled with all bad fellows. Now, Nishadaha, who saw that? Midhunaadekam pumamsam papanishchayaha. That's what is being. So, out of those two birds, one bird was seen, that's the male bird was seen, and that male bird is papanishchaya. So, here it's referring to Ravana, whose heart is filled already with sin. Okay. Jaghana vaira nilayo. Here, again, Jaghana means killing. So, Jaghana vaira nilayo. Vaira nilayo means, Vaira actually means conflict. So, a person who is living in the place of conflict. So, Lanka is a place of conflict as such, because Lanka was actually trying to control all the worlds at that point of time. Ravana was attacking one loka after the other, and all these generals and all were bloodthirsty. They were rakshasas, they were demons. So that's Vaira nilayo. Okay. Tasya pasyataha. Nishada tasya pasyataha. So the Nishada saw them there. Now, who is Nishada here? What does Nishada actually mean? One Nishada means the hunter that we saw. But when we are going into a deeper meaning, what does this word Nishada mean? Nishidanti atra sarvani jaganti iti nishadaha. You see, Nishidanti atra sarvani jaganti means one who has all the worlds inside him. He is Nishada. So, in one way, Nishada actually means Sri Mahavishnu, because Sri Mahavishnu has all the worlds in him. That's what we call in Visvam Vishnu Vashatkaraha actually also, right? He is filled in the entire world, and the entire world is there inside him. So, Nishadaha here means Sri Mahavishnu. So, now who is Sri Mahavishnu here? In Tredayuga, Sri Mahavishnu's avatara was Sri Ramachandra. So, in this sloka, the other meaning is, again, Tasmattu midhunaadekam. In those two birds, one bird pumamsam, which is the male bird, papanishchayaha, whose heart is filled with sin and whose mind is and buddhi are also working only towards sin. Jaghana was killed. Vairanilayo, in the same place, means in Lanka, which is the place of the enemy. Vairanilayo nishada tasya pasyataha. So, was seen by Sri Ramachandra, and he is going to kill that Ravana. That's what the shloka is actually meaning here. Okay. Tam sonita paritangam veshtamanam mahitale bharyatu nihitam drishtva rurava karunam girim viyukta patinatena dvijena sahacharina tamrasirshena mattena patrina sahitena vai. So in the previous shloka, Jaghana, when we said Jaghana, so Rama saw and then Rama killed Ravana. That's what the previous sloka said. Now, in the next sloka, again, the superficial meaning says male bird was hit by the arrow. It is in the process of dying, and the female bird is now jumping around it, crying. Right? Now, look at the inner meaning of this. This meaning is of the crying of Mandodari. Mandodari, who is Ravana's wife, she also cries after Ravana's death in a very, very similar fashion. So, again, this is referring to Ramayana, where Mandodari comes out and she cries, and then she says, it's not Sri Ramachandra who killed you, it is you with all your sins who got yourself killed. Okay. Tadadudam dvijam drishtva nishadeva nipattam rusher dharmatmanastasya karunyam samupadyata. So in the superficial meaning, this sloka means that, when those two birds were happily merrily playing, and when the hunter came and killed the male bird over there, the Dvija Valmiki there felt very very sad. That's a very superficial meaning. The inner meaning here says, when Rama killed Ravana, Valmiki Maharshi looked at the person who died, and then he felt to himself, I should not see this for a longer time, because, or I should not talk about Ravana at this point of time, because if I talk about an adharmi, that will cause more pain to my heart, and my concentration and everything would get disturbed. So that's another, the deeper meaning of the same sloka. Okay. Then nishaada pratisthaa magamah saaswatI yat krouncha midhunaadekam avadhIh kaamamOhitam. So superficial meaning, oh Nishada, you won't live for a longer time. He's directly telling the hunter that you won't live for a longer time. But the internal meaning is, again, as I told, Nishada again refers to Sri Ramachandra, right? Here, or it actually refers to Sri Mahavishnu, and from there to Sri Ramachandra, because he was the avatara, or he was Vishnu's avatara in Treta Yuga, right? Okay. Now, here this is becoming the mangalacharana shloka. When we are looking at the other side of the meaning, this shloka is actually becoming the mangalacharana shloka for the entire Ramayana. How? Manishada pratisthaa magamah saaswatI samaah yat krouncha midhunaadekam avadhIh kaamamOhitam. This essentially means manishada means, again, when you add ma and nishada, here ma refers to Ma Lakshmi. So nishaada, a person who is holding ma. So the person who is holding Lakshmi, or Lakshmi lives on the heart of Sri Mahavishnu. So, O person who holds Lakshmi, who is home for Lakshmi, tvam, you, yat, for some reason, krouncha midhunat, of the Rakshasa Dampatas, I mean Dampata in Telugu, or the Sanskrit Dampati actually means wife and husband, right? Krouncha midhunat means the Rakshasa wife and husband, Ravana and Mandodari. kaamamOhitam means of those one person who is filled with lust, ekam, one, who is, that's Ravana. avadhIh, avadhIh means killed Ravana, avadhIh. Okay. Due to this, what are you getting? saaswatI, permanent. Samaah, for a long, long years, many, many years. Pratisthaa means, mahatmya. You have got a lot of mahatmya because of this. Agamaha means you got it. So mahatmya. So here Valmiki Maharshi is addressing Sri Ramachandra and saying, you killed Ravana. So for years and years and yugas to come, for lakhs and lakhs of years and yugas to come, your story will be told in the world. Your mahatmya or your greatness will be told in the world. So this is what Maharshi Valmiki was directly telling as a mangalacharana shloka for the entire Srimad Ramayana Itihasa. So that's the beauty of this one shloka. Now, there is another way to look at this shloka. In this one sloka, you have got all 7 kandas of Ramayana. So Ramayana has 7 kandas: Balakanda, Ayodhya Kanda. So Balakanda talks about, the biggest thing in Balakanda is Ma Sita and Sri Ramachandra getting married. Then Ayodhya Kanda, where Sri Ramachandra leaves the home and goes for Vanavasa. Aranya Kanda, where Sri Ramachandra lives in the forests. Then Kishkindha Kanda, where Sri Ramachandra goes and meets Sugriva. Here only Vali also gets killed. So Kishkindha Kanda. Then Sundara Kanda, where Lord Hanuman goes to Lanka and sees Sitama and comes back. That's Sundara Kanda. And then Yuddha Kanda, where the war between the mighty war happens. And then Uttara Kanda, where Sri Ramachandra rules for those 11,000 years. And one unfortunate thing that happens then also is, because of the Lokopavada, Sri Ramachandra sends his wife again into forest. So this is the 7 kandas. Now how are these 7 fitting into this one sloka? Ma nishaada pratistham magamah saaswatI samaah et krouncha midhunaadekam avadhIh kaamamOhitam is the sloka, right? So let us look at the first one. Ma nishaada. So you, as I just told you, the meaning was or the meaning that can be given to this Ma Nishada is, Ma is Lakshmi and Nishada is one who holds her. So their marriage happened in Balakanda. So Ma Nishada refers to Balakanda. Ma Nishada Pratishtham. So Pratishtham is putting someone in a place also is called as Pratisthaa. So in Ayodhya Kanda, Dasharatha wanted to put him on the throne and give him the crown. So that's Ayodhya Kanda. Ma Nishada Pratishtham from Agamaha. You went. So where did you go? You went to the forest. Tvam agamaha actually means that you have went to forest. Tvam manishada pratishthan tvam agama shashwati samaah. That shashwati samaah actually refers to the glory he got by because he left the kingdom for the sake of his father's word. So shashwati samaah yat krouncha midhunaadekam. So yat krouncha. Here again it refers to, see, Vali also was a man filled with a lot of lust. And he not just enjoying with your wife, that's never a question, but when you end up enjoying or when you end up troubling others, that's the issue, right? So here Vali troubles Sugriva's wife, who is his brother's wife, Ruma. Okay, that's adharma there. So that's Kishkindakanda, and Rama goes and kills Vali there, right? So et krauncha mithuna, that refers to Kishkindakanda. Ekam. Ekam is a very important word here. This refers to Lord Hanuman. Because look at how Sundarakanda happens. Lord Hanuman goes to Lanka alone. Ekam. Ekam means one, right? He goes there alone. He finds Sita. He sees her alone. He fights with a huge army of Ravanasura. Again, he does that alone. Then he talks to Ravana. That again, he does alone. Then he burns Lanka. That again, he does alone. He goes back to Sitama, ensures that she is safe, and then he comes back. And when he is seeing Sri Ramachandra, he says, Drishtva Sita, Sitama has been seen. So this one man, this Ekam here means one man. The one, and Sundarakanda is practically that one man show. And obviously Sri Ramanama will be there, and obviously Sitama's greatness also is shown here. But the person who did this all, he does all of this alone. So Ekam, that's Sundarakanda. avadhIh. avadhIh is, as I told, it's killing, right? So Ravana getting killed, that's Yuddha Kanda. Again, kaamamOhitam. Okay, that also again refers to, because of the Lokopavada, Sri Ramachandra had to send his wife out. That also comes in that last word, and that's how the entire Ramayana fits into that one shloka. So Manishada Pratishthantamagam Shashwati Samaha Yat Krouncha Midhunaadekam avadhIh kaamamOhitam. So many layers, so much of a meaning, and there is one shloka. This is the mangalacharana shloka. As I told, like in one way, when you look at it, it's the entire kavya getting into this one shloka. The 4 5 slokas before, from there till this sloka, when we look at it, it actually describes the entire story of Ramayana. And on the surface of it, we also see that this sloka actually means, or on a very superficial level, this sloka just speaks about killing off or giving a shapa walk or giving a curse to that hunter. So one shloka, there are so many meanings. Hope you enjoyed this shloka. And after they did this, Bharadwaja and Valmiki Maharshi, they both are back now. They both have come back. What would they do after this? That's for us to discuss in the next episode. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Sarvam Guru Sri Sai Maharaj Swami Charanarvinda Arpanastu. Jai Shri Ram.